Definition of KYKO Personality Disorder. Defined as the manifestation of the excessive and extreme ends of its dimension to a stage of impairment of functioning causing significant distress and serious problems marked by a persistent and rigid pattern of distorted thoughts and behaviors that deviates from the social norms and expectations, particularly in personal, occupational, and social situations. Typology of KYKO Personality Disorder. High self-actualization disorder, low self-actualization disorder, high egocentric disorder, low egocentric disorder, high sociocentric disorder, low sociocentric disorder, high security disorder, low security disorder, high complexity disorder, low complexity disorder. High self-actualization disorder is characterized by an extremely high need for achievement, growth, and fulfillment, and to find meanings in life to a stage of psychologically impaired, resulting in damaging one's health and well-being and the significant others. Definition of high self-actualization: obsessive-compulsive personality factor disorder. Obsessive workaholic, the propensity to work compulsively at the expense of other pursuits to a stage detriment to one's health and well-being. High achiever's disease, the motivation and attitude to expend the energy and effort for successful accomplishment of goals without due regard to the health and well-being of oneself. Work overload, the propensity to accept more responsibilities to a point of adversely affecting the performance of oneself. Stretching goals, the tendency to stretch your performance goals out of your comfort zone and to push yourself further to achieve more without due regard to your well-being. Religious fanaticism, the excessive and obsessive devotion to a religion to the extent of sacrificing self and others for a cause. Low self-actualization disorder is characterized by an extremely low need for achievement, growth, and fulfillment, and to find meanings in life to a stage of psychologically impaired, resulting in depression and anxieties, paranormal beliefs, distorted thinking, lacking remorse and loss of irrationality. Definition of low self-actualization: neurotic psychotic personality factor disorder. Depression and anxieties, the propensity to become nervous and tense when one is depressed and in a melancholy mood. Odd beliefs/weird behavior, the influence of paranormal beliefs such as miracles, clairvoyance, superstitions, telepathy, illusion, or sixth sense, and the tendency to behave in an eccentric, unusual and strange behavior. Paranoia/suspicion, irrational mistrust or suspicion, which can cause fear, anger, and betrayal that others are trying to harm you. Manic depression/mood swings, a mood disorder characterized by hallucinations, delusion, psychosis, or paranoid rage. Distorted/dysfunctional thinking, the propensity to look at oneself, others, the world, and the future irrationally through distorted lenses. High egocentric, excessively aggressive personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by violence, aggression, sadism, hostility, superiority complex, and bullying. Definition of high egocentric, excessively aggressive personality factor disorder. Explosive aggressiveness, failure to resist aggressive impulses, resulting in serious assaults, property destruction, or frequent verbal aggression in the form of temper tantrums or tirades. Grandiose delusions, fantastical beliefs that one is famous, omnipotent, wealthy, superior, and very powerful. Sadism, the pleasure of hurting and seeing others in pain, discomfort, and misery. Self-centeredness, obsessive preoccupation with the self and prioritizing self. Oppositional defiance syndrome, a mental disorder characterized by being hostile, hard-headed, argumentative, rebellious, domineering, and to fight the authority. Low egocentric, excessively permissive, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by self-esteem deficits, self-depreciation, extreme passivity, chronic feelings of emptiness, and the feeling of helplessness. Definition of low egocentric, excessively permissive, personality factor disorder. Self-esteem deficits, the lack of confidence, self-worth, a sense of inadequacy, and a feeling of doubt and fear of facing challenges. Self-depreciating, the tendency to undervalue oneself and one's abilities characterized by humility, self-loathing, disparaging, degrading, belittling, and putting oneself down. Extreme passivity, the act of being too submissive, passive, subservient, and accommodating to others' request for help and demand. Chronic feelings of emptiness, the feelings of numbness, chronic emptiness, and loss of contact with reality. Feelings of helplessness, the chronic feeling of forsakenness, hopelessness, despair, and doom when confronted with personal and work-related problems. High sociocentric, excessively sociable, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by obsessive and addictive love, fear of abandonment, disinhibited social engagement, hypersensitivity, and attention-seeking/drama addiction. Definition of high sociocentric, excessively sociable, personality factor disorder. Obsessive love addiction, the manifestation of an extreme form of love that transcends into an obsession over time characterized by an unhealthy attachment towards someone and can be triggered off by many factors such as anxiety, insecurity, and vulnerability. Fear of abandonment, the phobia of imminent danger of being personally rejected, discarded, replaced, or being left alone. Disinhibited social engagement, the joy and excitement of meeting people for the first time characterized by being very friendly, caring, and becoming familiar with them. Hypersensitivity, the propensity to be overly emotional and getting hurt easily characterized by excessive sensitivity to criticism or disapproval. Attention-seeking/drama addiction, the tendency to display unstable, erratic, and exaggerated emotions to seek the love and attention of others. Low sociocentric, excessively asocial, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by lack of remorse, social anxiety, intimacy avoidance, emotional numbness, and lack of empathy. Definition of low sociocentric, asocial, personality factor disorder. Lack of remorse, the lack of feeling of guilt, conscience, and shame for causing pain and doing wrong to others. Social anxiety, the tendency to distance oneself and to avoid any form of contact and communication with others characterized by an unfounded and irrational fear of being watched, judged, evaluated, or of being embarrassed or humiliated. Intimacy avoidance, the fear of being emotionally and/or physically being touched or being intimate or close to another individual. Emotional numbness, the absence of emotion or loss of feelings, to the point of being emotionally disconnected and having temporarily lost touch with reality. Lack of empathy, the apathetic behavior of being insensitive to others' feelings, needs, concerns and well-being. High security, excessively cautious, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by maladaptive perfectionism, overdependence, imaginary worries, hoarding, and fear of uncertainties. Definition of high security personality factor disorder. Maladaptive perfectionism, the propensity to strive for flawlessness and set unrealistic and unattainable goals and to drive people to accomplish them, failing which they are prone to fall into depression. Overdependent, the propensity to depend on other people for safety, protection, and in social, psychological and physical well-being. Imaginary worries, the negative thoughts, images, and emotions in which mental attempts are made to avoid unreal, anticipated potential threats. Hoarding, the persistent difficulty of getting rid or parting with worthless possessions because of an excessive need to save them. Fear of uncertainty, the phobia or quality or state of being uncertain about something that is doubtful or unknown. Low security, excessively adventurous, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by substance abuse, impulse control, non-compliance, recklessness, and dangerous/haphazard behavior. Definition of low security personality factor disorder. Substance abuse, the excessive, repetitive use of substance and pleasurable activities to cope with unmanageable internal conflicts, pressures, and stresses. Impulse control, the tendency to act or do things without due consideration or thought as to the costs, results, or consequences. Non-compliance, the failure to comply with rules, regulations, laws, procedures, and contract. Recklessness, the propensity to do things foolhardy and carelessly without due regard to the danger and to avoid taking responsibility. Dangerous/haphazard behavior, the tendency to seek sensational, haphazard, and dangerous activities and experiences. High complexity, excessively manipulative, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by excessive power striving, game of deception, social chameleon, psychological manipulation, and devious brainwashing. Definition of high complexity personality factor disorder. Excessive power striving, an obsessive power seeker who takes more than one gives, characterized by both legal and illegal means to satisfy one's insatiable need for power, authority, and wealth. Game of deception, the act of deceiving others to believe something that is untrue, characterized by lying, cheating and misleading them. Social chameleon, the ability to read social cues and to control and manage impressions by changing one's behavior to get people's approval and support. Psychological manipulation, the ability to change the behavior or perceptions of the people through indirect, deceptive, exploitative, devious, or underhanded tactics at the expense of others to achieve one's hidden motives. Devious brainwashing, the ability to use devious means to control and direct the behavior of others to accomplish personal agendas. Low complexity, excessively naive, personality disorder. Defined as a mental disorder characterized by the enduring pattern of maladaptive behavior manifested by excessive self-revealing, easily susceptible to the negative influence of a significant other, vulnerable to victimization, gullibility, and negative emotional reaction. Definition of low complexity personality factor disorder. Excessive self-revealing, the tendency to unintentionally disclose, express, display and exhibit the most innermost and private feelings, thoughts, etc., to others. Easily susceptible to negative influence, the tendency to be easily influenced and misled to do an ill-advised course of action. Vulnerable to victimization, the tendency to be used and abused and can be easily victimized. Gullibility, the tendency to be easily tricked and cheated as a result of trusting others fully and blindly to take the wrong action. Negative emotional reaction, the tendency to show the lesser or darker side of oneself by responding and reacting strongly in an inappropriate manner.